Hey, Westchester University alumni. My name is Justin Sachoka, and welcome in to Ramblings Live. This is our little Facebook show that we do about every 2 weeks or so, where we connect with different Westchester University alumni. We get to connect with you as well as you join in here for our live streams. Now, this is a pre-taped version, so this is premiering tonight at 5:30, but we are taping this at 8 o'clock in the morning because our guest this morning, well, he's kind of a big deal. He is the chief of police at Westchester University, and he's also a Westchester University alumni. So as you can imagine, his schedule is a little busy. So we have him here taping at 8 o'clock in the morning, but premiering this later on. Now, with that said, just because this is a pre-tape, that doesn't mean we don't want you to comment on this video. We don't want you to engage. Of course, we want to hear from you. And we, again, are going to be giving away one of these Westchester University t-shirts. So all you need to do is comment in, let us know where you're watching from. We want to know what year you graduated, or just say hi. If you comment on this video, you are going to be entered to win one of these Westchester University alumni t-shirts. We will send you a message and send it to your door, and we will pick a winner within the next 24 hours. Now, I mentioned that our guest today is the chief of police. That would be Chief Ray Stevenson of the Westchester University Police Department. Let's bring him in and give a warm welcome to who I thought was Lieutenant Ray Stevenson, because that was the title when I went to Westchester, but you've moved up the ladder. You are the chief of police now. Congratulations.
Thank you much, Jess.
Now, I also want to mention you graduated in a great year. You graduated from Westchester University in 1991, which I was born that year. So I feel like it was good all around.
We have a symbiotic relationship.
we do, yeah. Now, I know you, of course, from Westchester University. You were a friar, and I was a friar as well. So we got to know each other through that a little bit. I don't think I got in too much trouble when I was at Westchester University that we knew each other from that standpoint, but we knew each other from the friars. How's everything been going?
Different.
Yeah.
Different. As you hear the comment, this is a new normal. It truly is. Every day, it almost feels like Groundhog's Day. What's unique is coming to campus and not seeing the students.
Yeah.
And for me, I never realized how much of an impact that actually had on, you get up and you look forward to come. There's an energy and a vibrancy of the campus. And now it's like, it's sad in one aspect, but it just makes me realize what the work ahead that we need to do.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people throughout all of this have gained an appreciation for all of the little things. And I used to live, I just recently moved, but I lived right next to campus for a while. And driving by, it was always a little bit, it takes a while to go down Rosedale Ave because a lot of people crossing the street. And you always say to yourself, oh my gosh, there's so many students. I'd love it if I could just cross the street in 2 minutes, which unfortunately we've been able to do for months now. And you miss the students that are there, and you miss just the life that is pumped into campus because of that. So it is definitely a little bit different. Now, you went to campus, you graduated in 1991. What was your major? What was your minor when you were at Westchester University?
So I was, my major was health and phys ed, and my minor was nutrition.
And nothing to do with criminal justice whatsoever?
Absolutely nothing to do with criminal justice whatsoever.
So how did this happen? How did you go from that major and that minor into becoming a police officer?
Well, it actually started my junior year.
Okay.
I played football here for the first 2 years. And after I was done football, no longer had scholarships, you realize, okay, I need to get and make some money. And that's when I started part-time security in public safety, which was absolutely great because it afforded me opportunity to make money and study.
That, one of my close friends, I think Kyle Van Hart, who he started in security as well. And I know there's a lot of people that have done this. I'm actually at Kyle's house right now because the internet is out and he lives up the road from me, and he somehow has power and internet. So I am doing all my live videos from here for the time being. But he's at work as a state trooper right now. So there's a lot of people I know, and you two are just two examples of many that started off at security at Westchester University that have blossomed into full careers. And you started off as students doing this. How amazing that is! That was the path that you took. So you started as security at Westchester University. Did you then become a police officer somewhere else, or did you first become a police officer at Westchester University?
So I actually became a police officer here at the university. My junior and senior year, I worked security, and I graduated in May, and then in June they offered me a full-time security position.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, I'll take advantage of a stable job, healthcare benefits,
Why not?
and yeah, and then I moved up the ranks to a supervisor security, and they kept asking me, you ever think about becoming a police officer? And I go, absolutely not, no way. But like anything, it's about taking advantage of opportunities. So they sent me to the academy in '94, yeah, '94, and sponsors me all the way through. And then I
Wow.
worked uh, pretty much. I was a bike officer here and went from bike to administration.
That's amazing. I mean, what a success story to go from a student security officer to the chief of police at Westchester University. What's the time span there? Did you say 31 career, 31 years?
31, yeah, February
Wow.
14th. I had the best Valentine's Day present. I got hired in this department on February 14th,
Oh, wow.
1989.
And you've been there ever since.
Ever since. And people still come back and go, "You're still here?" I love the environment. And what I realized in the last 2 years, um, it's the mentorship of students and their action with students that keep me here. You know?
Sure. I can't blame you on that.
Yeah.
Now, what originally brought you to Westchester University? So where are you from, and then how did you end up at Westchester?
So I'm originally from West Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I remember coming here when we were doing the recruitment for football. And I remember getting on a bus and taking a bus tour out here. And my first impression, and this is a kid coming from West Philadelphia, inner city, Overbrook High School, thinking, where the hell am I going? There's actually cows and there's grass. And this was like Little House on the Prairie coming out here. It totally blew my mind. And what attracted me to Westchester was it was far enough from home, but close enough. If I needed to get
Sure.
there, I could get there. And the
That's-
fact that my high school football coach was an alumni here, so he kept pushing us to come here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I had kind of the opposite reaction. I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and from a town outside of it where there's a lot of rolling hills, there's a lot of farmland. And when I went to Westchester University for the first time, I was like, "Wow, I'm in the city. This is amazing." To me, it was the complete opposite, and that was enough. I could never go to Philadelphia. Like Westchester was enough of a city to me, and now I've moved out towards the farmland again. But it's funny how Westchester, whether you're coming from the city or if you are coming from a little bit of a more rural area, it's the perfect mix in between, and just works out. Now, you've seen campus change, I would imagine, in the last 31 years quite a bit. What was it like when you first stepped on campus versus what would it be like today when someone first steps on campus?
Well, the one thing I've noticed with the university, and I say this every homecoming, when I get some of my fellow alumni coming back and we walk around, there's a tendency when you've been someplace so long, the days and the years just morph into one. What seems like yesterday was actually 2 or 3 years ago. The changes that we've noticed is the students have much more things to do and much more interaction. It used to be when we were here, you had very limited things to do on the weekend. There was no weekend programming. It was, okay, Friday, we go to the SEPTA bus stop and we head home because there really was nothing to do. Students now have so many activities to participate in. It truly is more of inclusion now than ever that I can remember in the last 30 years.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective because when I think of the changes, I think a lot of people, and maybe not, maybe it's just me. I think of the buildings. I mean, driving around, it's like there's new buildings popping up. But I'd have definitely taken for granted just the fact that I always had Sykes After Dark, or which I think is Ramon's After Hours now, and the Student Activities Council movie that was on Thursday night for $2, and all those little things. I guess that is a lot of the progress that's made throughout the years of developing that, and
Yep.
not realizing how that wasn't always there, and that's something that students can take advantage of.
Yep.
Now, what is a typical day in the life of a police officer at Westchester University?
Well, the unique thing about campus law enforcement, just in general, you never know what you're going to have. There's truly a difference of day to day. There is no such thing as uh, doing the routine, mundane day to day. So
Yeah.
you can have anything from a mechanical problem, a toilet stopped up, to a report of drugs or
Hmm.
assault, and it reaches the whole gamut. But on a campus law enforcement, particularly here, we're more customer oriented. Um, Typically, when people see police officers, they usually see them behind a car with the windows rolled up. And for example, when a police officer gets in back of you, it's the first thing most people do. They put the death grip on the steering wheel, they look down
Yeah.
at the speedometer, and they say a couple of, oh crap.
I've been there.
Exactly. So what we try to do is get our officers out of the vehicles and be more approachable. So you'll see them walking through the buildings, you'll see them hanging out in sites. And what
Hmm.
we want to do is more engagement with our public. That way the students feel comfortable asking questions, because a lot of people think that you're only here for emergencies. It's not that. It's about campus and community engagement.
That You say that, and as I reflect back to, and even to if I go on a run around campus, I mean, I always see the police presence that's there, and it because of that, I don't know if it's because they're
I think we're having some technical difficulties. Hello, you there, Justin? Hello. Hello. Hello.
oh my god, power went out in the middle of that, and I have no idea if that even like ended up saving because this is an online platform, and I'm just oh wait, it's still recording. We're still going. Right. Let's just do an intro here. We have no idea what happened. Okay. So in the middle of that, our power cut off. As I mentioned, I'm at Kyle Van Hart's house right now, or I should say Trooper Van Hart's house right now. And like many people in this area, power is going on and off. So I'll be honest, I have no idea what question I even asked you or what we left off on, but let's jump into something else. So you came to Westchester University from West Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Insert the whole West Philadelphia born and raised. I'm sure you've heard that many times before. But people would be upset if I didn't bring it up, so I had to at least mention that.
Well, I'll give you a
So
little
you
caveat. Will Smith is actually one of my friends. We were in the same gym class.
wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah,
No
he's a year
way.
under me. Yep.
Okay, forget everything else. Let's talk about your relationship with you and Will Smith. I know I feel like I'm just rattling off my friends' names now, but Sabrina Reitmer is the
Yes.
biggest Will Smith fan. She is an employee at Westchester University as well. Now that you have revealed that you are friends with Will Smith, I promise you, she will try and take advantage of that in some way, shape, or form. So let's talk about, actually, let's play a game right now instead. So let's bring up, this is the third time that we've played this game before. And there's some beeping that's going on in here now. Wow, this is really just throwing us for a loop today. Hopefully that beeping will stop at some point here. This is the third time we've played this game. No one has gotten a perfect score yet, but I anticipate that you just may. So the game is called Name That Hall. We're going to bring up different pictures of halls at Westchester University, and you need to tell us which one is which. Chief Stevenson, are you ready for it? Let's see how you do.
Let's see.
All right, what hall is this?
Anderson.
That is Anderson Hall. That is correct. How about this one? This tends to people tend to get this one wrong.
Let's see. That looked like Schmidt.
That would be Schmidt Hall. What hall did you live in, by the way, when you first moved to Westchester?
I lived in Ramsey Hall, which has now become the new student rec center.
Yeah. I never saw Ramsey Hall. I lived in Tyson the year that they knocked it down, so I saw the big pile of Ramsey Hall, but I never got to see Ramsey Hall. How about this one right here? I mean, come on, this is an easy one.
Great Phillips Hall.
That everyone, yeah, Phillips. Is it? But Asplin Concert Hall as well, right? I always refer to it as Asplin, but it's both the names.
Yep.
And how about this one?
That is Recitation.
That would be Recitation. And right here, right
Ruby
across the
Jones.
street from you, Ruby Jones. This one?
And that's the new building. We call it, the acronym is BPAC. Business Center.
I did not know that. I mean, now I kind of assumed you were going to get a perfect score on this, but I did not know that.
Yep.
And
that is the new student rec center, my former home.
That's right. Speaking of Ramsey Hall, your former home, and now this is the last one. Do we have a perfect score?
Yeah, it should be, because it should be Schmucker.
There you go. Good work. We have our first perfect score here in Name That Hall. I'm going to take a break for 1 second and see if I can turn this beeping off. Can you hear it on your end? Because I can edit all this out.
No, not at all.
Oh, you can't? Okay, well then, never mind. It's like a fire alarm is going off or something. Okay, so let's jump back into it, and we'll go like 5 more minutes, and then we can close it off there.
Sure.
So, Chief Stevenson, do you have a favorite memory from Westchester University in your 31 years of a career, or even from your time spent as a student? Is there a memory that sticks out as your favorite?
I would have to say, being a student when the Reverend Jesse Jackson visited campus, and which is now the footprint of the University Hall, Allegheny. That used to be the residential quad, which was the area that we all went out to play basketball. And when Jesse Jackson visited, it was people everywhere. I'll never forget, because the buzz was tremendous. And especially being a minority student, that was the first time I actually was able to see somebody up close and personal. I actually got a chance to shake his hand, to see, when you see somebody on TV and then you see him, and you try not to be starstruck.
Sure.
But I just remember being in awe.
Yeah.
And his role in the civil rights and Martin Luther King. And I remember doing so much research on it for that moment. It was actually one of our, I think, race relation classes.
What year was that? Do you remember what year that was?
I really can't. That was definitely in the 80s. I want to say probably 87, 88.
Now, with your role now, when at Westchester University does a phenomenal job of bringing speakers on campus, and there's the presidential speaker series, and to your point, you have people who I remember Jane Pauley was on campus at a certain point, and there's all of these different notable people that come on campus. Do you get to play a role in helping to assist with that in any way? And what is that like when you all of a sudden get an email that says, "Hey, by the way, so and so person that you grew up watching on television is going to be here." What is your first kind of initial reaction?
My first reaction is almost like, oh man, it's good in one sense, but when you're in the law enforcement business, it's you're happy when they come. You're even more happy and relieved when they leave your campus because the logistics about it. And I'll give you an
Hmm.
example. When George Bush was running for president, the second one, we get a phone call, and within 48 hours, we had to meet with the Secret Service, the marshals, state
Wow.
police to formulate the plan of his arrival. And this is when he was running. I got assigned to his protection detail because I knew intimate details of the campus. And I had to
Wow.
tell all my friends, okay, when you see me, don't take it personal. I cannot react to you. I have to focus on him. And it was an awesome, awesome sight. I was just so relieved. After it went off without a hitch, he staged in Hollinger Fieldhouse, and we were able to get him in and get him out. And we did such a good job that this became almost like the running point for people on college campuses.
Yeah.
Presidential. We had Obama, President Obama. We had President Trump when he was running. Uh, you name it, we've got people there.
That's really quite amazing that you've had. I mean, just the experiences that you've had. I think that to your own point earlier, when people think of the police, they think of that situation where you're in the car and you look at the speedometer and say, "All right, I'm getting pulled over." But there's all these other aspects to it, especially on campus. And I imagine that a campus police officer is kind of unique from a police officer in a township or in
Mhm.
a city because there's just not necessarily as many I guess the campus just has such a wide array of different things that are happening.
You have to be well versed in a multitude of topics
Yeah,
because you're dealing with a very diverse culture, climate, and community.
it's really quite incredible. You've really opened up my eyes here to campus police. I didn't realize all that goes into it, and I could honestly talk to you for hours about all of this. I find it fascinating. I know that you have quite a busy schedule, and we want to let you go. But before we do, I want to know what makes you proud to be an alumni of Westchester University.
The fact that this institution took a very naive 17-year-old sheltered student from West Philadelphia and has taught me so much, not just about life, but more importantly about myself.
Hmm.
Um, Being the first generation college student, I pretty much have had to forge my own way. So I feel like if I was to cut my arm, I would definitely bleed the purple and gold. And I owe so much to this institution for that reason. And I look at it as it's my responsibility to bring along the next generation of Golden Rams to teach them about our culture, our history, and try to prepare them for the future. I
What
fortunately had somebody uh, see something in me to sort of mentor me, and I need to get that back. I need to become that mentor for the next generation.
Well, that I have had an absolute pleasure of getting to chat with you about all of this. I didn't realize your story and how deeply rooted it is into Westchester University. I am going to do a little bit of a shameless plug here for Ram Nation because you did mention about mentorship. So Naturally, I've got to find the transition here. Ram Nation, you can go on to, and this is where alumni can connect with current students, and you can be the mentor to them. So make sure that you visit the Alumni Association's website in order to become a part of Ram Nation. Like we mentioned earlier, anybody that comments on this post is going to be entered to win a Westchester University t-shirt. We will decide a winner within the next 24 hours. Just comment. Let us know where it is that you're watching from, what year you graduated. Let us know if maybe you were hanging out with Chief Stevenson and Will Smith earlier in West Philadelphia. We want to find out. So go ahead and comment, and we will enter you in to win that. Chief Stevenson, congratulations on the new position. It is well-deserved. It was a pleasure to get to chat with you. And if anybody is, because we have a lot of alumni that have children that are at Westchester University, and they always tell them, I think back to my mom, and who would tell me and my brothers of like, you have to go get a job. You got to work when you're on campus. The security aspect of Westchester University was something that you did. Is that something that students can get involved in?
Absolutely, and I encourage them. We traditionally will contact and have a partnership with the Criminal Justice Department here.
Okay.
But what I tell people, it's a great opportunity to network. I guarantee your GPA will go astronomically high through the roof because we have a structured environment, and it's a great way to prepare yourself and put yourself through this university.
Awesome. Well, Chief Stevenson, thank you so much. Stay safe throughout all of this, and I hope to see you on campus sometime soon.
Take care, Justin. Good talking to you. Keep in touch.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, there we go.